Hello, welcome. This is Business Now, reaching you live from IBrandTV News Studio here in Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up, federal government has decided to clamp down on filling stations selling premium motor spirit above the 165 naira per litre. Nigeria's FX policy targets to preserve the value of the domestic currency. And federal government pledges support for the Securities and Exchange Commission imposition in the capital market. And South Africa records foreign direct investment inflows of 27.2 billion rands in the first quarter of 2022. Thank you for joining us, and here are some of the reports we're finding at this time. I am Frank Omalape. We start our attention on the oil and gas sector as the Nigerian Upstream and Petroleum Regulatory Commission, and a statement said that it will on Tuesday issued petroleum prospecting licenses to successful awardees of the fields. After 18 years of the last bid rounds, Nigeria, through the defunct Department of Petroleum Resources, put up 57 onshore swamp and shallow offshore terrains fields for bidding, and has set May 1, 2022 for the issuance of licenses to winners. However, the licenses were not issued due to delays in payment of the fees and bonuses by the winners of the oil fields. Unconfirmed sources close to the situation said. In the Nigerian context, marginal fields include fields with reported reserves and production potential, which are, however, deemed marginal for a variety of reasons. Notably, marginal fields exist under current oil mining leases. Findings show that each of the awardees paid a total of 48 billion naira to gain access to the license, resulting in combined revenue of over 2 trillion naira for the federal government. A breakdown of the 48 billion naira includes 500,000 or 500 million naira registration and 2 million application per field, a 3 million bid processing fee, data prime fee of $15,000 per field, data leasing fee of $25,000 per field, competent persons report fee of $50,000 per field, and $25,000 per field for the field-specific report. This brings the total payment to approximately 48 billion naira per awardee. And now the Nigerian government has decided to clamp down on filling stations selling premium motor spirits above the 165 naira per litre agreed pump price as Nigeria's fuel scarcity lingers for another week. This was disclosed in a statement by Farouk Ahmed, Authority Chief Executive, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, after a joint inspection of fuel stations in Abuja. The agency said that the pump price of PMS was still around 165 naira per litre and that the federal government has not changed its decision. Conducting the exercise alongside officials of the Petroleum Pipeline and Marketing Company PPMC, Ahmed warned that the agency, based on its engagement with the depots and Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria and major oil marketers of Nigeria, they were warned against overprice at the depot. He added that regulations that will be taken include withdrawal of service from a particular depot and shutting and sanctioning them because nobody was above the law and they must enforce the regulations. And in the meantime, the federal government has pledged to support the Securities and Exchange Commission in positioning the capital market to enhance economic prosperity. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, made this known on Monday at the presentation of the revised Nigerian Capital Market Master Plan. The government, she added, will continue to support efforts to position the market where it deserves to be, a capital market that will broaden access to economic prosperity by enabling the emergence of financially responsible citizens, accelerate wealth creation and wealth distribution, provide capital to small and medium-scale enterprises, and catalyze housing finance. The finance minister also urged capital market stakeholders to encourage transparency and investor confidence if they want the capital market to grow. She commended beg your pardon, she commended the Securities and Exchange Commission, Capital Markets Master Plan Implementation Council, and the capital market community for the accomplishments in the master plan implementation. A former director in one of the topmost commercial banks in Nigeria and chieftain of the PDP, Kayode Adara Modu, has rated the performance of the Central Bank of Nigeria very low under the government Emefiele. The former banker, now politician, in an interview with IBrand News crew said the APS Bank governor has failed to deliver on the monetary policies of the country. He said the central bank under the current administration of Godwin Emefiele has not performed optimally owing to the involvement of the CBN governor in political activities.
Hasn't done well. The CBN hasn't done well. I got to a point I was afraid. Central banking is not commercial banking. The laws, the rules they are there. The role of a central bank in every nation is clear. It's almost the next powerful office to that of the president. While the president is busy with his ministers taking care of fiscal policies, the monetary policy is in the hand of a CBN governor. And that is why the rule is very clear. Do not get yourself distracted with political activities and engagement. They are to be isolated from politics. So I think his interest in getting involved in politics became a distraction. So beyond the issue of flouting the CBN rules, in terms of the available, verifiable, proven economic indices and indicators that are available to us in Nigeria today, we have failed woefully in the area of our monetary policies management. So if you combine all of this together, even if the employer does not see a need to excuse him, he should be bold enough and honest enough to say, this assignment you have given me is beyond me. You can't do central banking with commercial banking mentality. It's not helping.
Now, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohamed Abubakar, has announced that Nigeria will partner with the Brazilian government on the supply and distribution of 10,000 tractors to farmers across the country. The move, according to Abubakar, will fast-track the mechanization of the country's agricultural sector, improve production and boost economic development. He stated that the partnership with Brazilian counterpart will ensure the provision of 10,000 units of tractors, 50,000 units of assorted implement and equipment for assembly in Nigeria, and 142 turnkey factories, agro-processing, as well as training of the project beneficiaries over 5 years. He added that the development will also enhance food self-sufficiency and create job opportunities for Nigerian youth. The minister indicated at the opening ceremony of Africa's Agricultural Machines and Equipment Technology Expo, industrializing Africa's agriculture through technology and innovation, that was held in Abuja recently. He revealed that the expo was meant to expose Africa farmers to co-effective farm machines and new farming technologies, as well as to increase the flow of foreign direct investment into the country. And now an economist has weighed in on a recent report that Lagos, Nigeria's commercial hub, ranked 171st out of 172 countries in the list of the world's most livable cities for the first quarter of 2022. According to the latest Global Life Index for 2022 published by the Economist Intelligence Unit, this makes the city the second worst livable city in the world and the worst in Africa. Research and development economist Gospel Belly, while analyzing the index earlier in the day on IBrandTV's Business Breakfast, noted that although there's much to be desired in the state in terms of health, education and infrastructure, Lagos isn't as worse as the other countries and cities it shared the same spot within the ranking.
Lagos is not as really worse as we think of it in terms of how the report paints it as, all right, and in terms of the category or classification of countries or cities, where Lagos, is situated in the context of that report. So you think of Karachi, you think of Douala, these are vastly, less productive cities than Lagos, but Lagos ranks worse than these cities in that report. All right. So, but on the other side of things, you also want to think of it from the angle of fear. In as much as Lagos is not yet there, as a very livable city to live in, we have also not done well in terms of projecting the policies and growth and productivity improvements forward. So Lagos is not there yet, but there's also a gap between what we are doing and how we are selling our story to the rest of this world. And that's the basis or the premise upon which I'm saying also that I do not think that it is contextually correct, to situate Lagos with other cities that has been, captured in the report in that regard.
Well, from there now, in line with the memorandum of information prepared ahead of the auction of 2 slots of spectrum and the 3.5 gigahertz spectrum set aside for early deployment of 5G technology services in the country by the Nigerian Communications Commission, the 2 winners of the licenses, MTN and Mafab Communication, have less than 2 months to begin service offering using the new platform. According to the latest report, 5G subscriptions will hit 1 billion this year, while it will reach 4.4 billion by 2027. Nigeria will, however, be joining the race for these milestones amid huge challenges before the 2 operators. MTN Chief Executive Officer Carl Toriola has restated the readiness of the telecom giant to roll out services on the 5G spectrum even before the NCC's timeline. Massive IoT technologies increased by almost 80% during 2021, reaching close to 330 million connections. The number of IoT devices connected by these technologies is expected to overtake 2G, 3G in 2023. Now, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, on Monday said the objectives of the country's exchange rate policy were to preserve the value of the domestic currency and maintain a favorable external reserves position. Emefiele stressed that the central bank's foreign exchange regime further seeks to ensure external balance without compromising the need for internal balance and the overall goal of macroeconomic stability. The central bank governor also said the overreacting or overarching goals of the APS Bank include achieving exchange rate stability that ensures a viable external sector, anchoring inflationary expectations and improving and supporting economic growth. The CBN governor spoke at the opening of the regional course on exchange rates, regimes and policies organized by the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management, with participants from Nigeria, the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone in attendance. Also said the thrust of exchange rate management by the bank was to allow the market system to determine the exchange rate parity in an efficient manner, devoid of the activities of speculators and rent seekers. He pointed out that the bank's choice of exchange rate regime had at all times been determined by the prevailing economic fundamentals, adding that it was not uncommon that the dynamics of the external and domestic economy lead to a change in regime. Following an unprecedented rally that increased the equities market's year-to-date returns by 21%, the Nigerian Pension Fund Administrators has increased its investment in the stock market by 8.7 billion naira to 1 trillion naira from 999 billion naira recorded in the previous month. Also, PFA's total asset under management rose to its highest level at 14.1 trillion naira from 13.76 trillion naira achieved at the end of the year, having gained about 133.76 billion naira in the review period of May and 768.8 billion naira between January and May 2022. The total pension fund invested in the market was 913 billion naira as of the November last year. The amount is 7% of the total fund, which is 23% less than 30% permissible investment set by the Regulation on Investment of Pension Fund Assets issued by PENCOM in 2019. While pension assets have become a major source of domestic capital information or capital formation with a large chunk of its investment in treasury bills and bonds, findings have suggested that PFAs have continued to distance themselves from the equities market. This is said to have been partly responsible for the low level of liquidity. Fortunately, the market capitalization of the Nigerian Exchange Limited rose by 4.68 trillion naira to 27.4 or 27.87 trillion naira on Friday, from about 23.1 trillion at which it opened the year, January 4, 2022. If you're watching the business now, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos, still to come after the break. G7 commit about $5 billion to tackle global food insecurity. We'll bring you details and more business update right after this time. Please stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
If you just join us, this is Business Now, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. On the African scene now, the Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, CBOD, has called on other players in the foreign exchange supply market to step up their efforts to ensure the demand for US dollars by bulk distributing companies, which is met. This according to the CEO of the chamber, Senor Jose. He says it's important as the quantum of US dollars supplied by the Bank of Ghana has dropped drastically. The bulk distributing companies are licensed to import crude and finished products and store and distribute to oil marketing companies, among other functions. In an attempt to resolve the issue of a lack of US dollars for the BDCs, whose work influences the final price of fuel at the pumps, the Bank of Ghana earlier this year introduced a foreign exchange forward action program for the BDCs. For a long time, the BDCs were struggling to get access to enough foreign exchange at affordable rates to procure their products, a situation that led to some level of uneasiness within the industry. Now, South Africa recorded foreign direct investment inflows of 27.2 billion rands in the first quarter of 2022, up from 22.7 billion rands in the fourth quarter of 2021, the central bank said on Tuesday. The South African Reserve Bank said in its quarterly bulletin that the increase was due to foreign entities increasing equity investment and granting loans to domestic subsidiaries. Portfolio investment reverted to inflows of 64.2 billion rands in the first quarter, following revised outflows of 40 billion rands in the previous quarter as non-residents acquired equity and their securities, it said. And on the foreign scene, the group of 7 economic powers has agreed to explore imposing a ban on transporting Russian oil that has been sold above a certain price, they said on Tuesday. And I quote, "We invite all like-minded countries to consider joining us in our actions," the G7 leader said in a communique at the end of the day. The G7 is looking at price caps as a way to prevent Moscow from profiting from its invasion of Ukraine, which has sharply raised energy prices, taking the steam out of Western effort to reduce import of Russian oil and gas. Russian oil export revenues climbed in May even as volumes fell, the International Energy Agency said in a June monthly report. G7 leaders have all agreed to push for a ban on import of Russian gold as part of efforts to tighten the sanctions squeeze on Moscow, and the European Union official said Tuesday. The war, which has killed thousands and sent millions fleeing, entered its 5th month with no signs of abating. And similarly, G7 leaders are set to commit up to $5 billion to improve global food security, a senior U.S. official said, as the group responds to worries in developing nations about the threat of hunger triggered by the war in Ukraine. On the final day of the G7 summit in Germany, the official said that the United States will provide over half of that sum, which will go to efforts to fight hunger in 47 countries and to fund regional organizations. The G7 is attempting to rally emerging countries, many with close ties to Russia, to oppose Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, and invited 5 major middle and low-income democracies to the summit to win them over. About $2 billion of the committee will go to direct humanitarian interventions, with about $760 million going to food assistance to enhance the resilience and productivity of food systems around the world. Separately, the leaders agreed to take a more coordinated approach to challenge China's market-distorting practices in global trade. They also pledged to work to remove forced labor, including state-backed forced labor, from global supply chains. And now OPEC's oil revenues surged in 2021 as prices and demand recovered from the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic, while the number of fleet members' active rigs posted a modest rebound and newly completed wells declined, data from the group showed. The value of petroleum export by the 13-member organization of the petroleum exporting countries reached $561 billion in 2021, up 77% from 2020. OPEC's annual statistical bulletin published on Tuesday showed as OPEC raised output in 2021, the number of active oil rigs in OPEC members rose by 11% to 489, a smaller increase than that seen worldwide. And top exporter Saudi Arabia added 6 rigs to 65 in 2021, although the total was below the 2019 level. OPEC and its allies, known as OPEC Plus, have been struggling to boost output in line with targets, reflecting underinvestment by some members in drilling and exploration. The shortfall is one of the reasons oil prices have soared in 2022. And in the meantime, global shares were higher on Tuesday, while oil prices firmed following China's decision to ease some quarantine requirement for international arrivals, raising hopes for stronger growth and a revival in demand for commodities. China slashed the quarantine time for inbound travelers by half in a major easing of one of the world's strictest COVID-19 curves, which have deterred cross-border travel and resulted in international flight running at just 2% of pre-pandemic levels. Asian shares rose after the announcement, and European stocks were firmly in the green, which sent the MSCI's benchmark for global stocks into positive territory and on track for its fourth consecutive daily gain. China's strict zero-COVID regulations have been a drag on activity in the world's #2 economy, but an easing of travel restrictions and reopening of major cities from lockdowns boost optimism that growth can get back on track. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares rose 0.4%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng reversed earlier losses to gain 0.9%, and China's CSI 300 index closed up by over 1%. China's tourism stocks gained about 5.5%, while U.S. stocks index features were higher, with S&P 500 up around 0.5%. But the outlook for developed market equities remains challenging as central banks attempt to balance stubbornly high inflation with slowing growth. You'll be watching Business Now, coming to you live from our studios here. We'll take a moment now, and after the break, more news stories with Omobolanle. Please stay with us.
The cosmetics and personal care industry globally generates an estimated annual turnover of around $400 billion over the last 20 years. In Nigeria, the beauty and personal care market could reach 3.2 billion euros by 2021, making Nigeria the rising star in sub-Saharan Africa. Products for hair and body care are predominant on the beauty market in sub-Saharan Africa, where face products and makeup remain marginal but have strong potential. Africa's largest economy clearly has a lot to offer. The Nigerian beauty and personal care market is currently worth more than $1.25 billion at retail and is forecast to reach more than $1.31 billion next year, according to Euromonitor International. It includes a wide range of products from skincare items to makeup and beauty items. These are items that predominantly appeal to women and men alike to purchase beauty products, even though men are interested in cosmetics. Nigeria has emerged as the investment destinations of choice to international firms aiming to capture the beauty and personal care market in the continent. The photography business is a very competitive industry. Every year, thousands of talented photo lovers consider turning their passion into a money-making business venture. Especially in a fiercely competitive marketplace like Nigeria, in which it is very easy for anyone to buy a digital camera and call themselves a professional photographer. According to some practitioners, a new photographer who wants a standard studio can start with a budget of 3.5 million naira. However, one can start with a lower budget of about 500,000 to 1 million naira, depending on the tools and cost of rent. On the average, the cost of photography equipment is around 294,790 naira. However, the price ranges from around 41,000 naira to as high as 2.46 million naira. Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people with a vibrant movie industry that produces 50 movies per week, generating annual revenue of approximately $590 million from between 2016 and 2021, helping the photography industry as a whole, according to a recent research by the UN.
Are you a business owner looking for the right exposure to attract massive clients to your brand? The long search is definitely over. SME Hub allows you to showcase your products and services to a wide range of viewers and buyers nationwide. For further inquiries, please call Alero on 081-323-43262, or you can send an email to alero.ogudere@IBrandTV.com. Grow your brand and boost your business on SME Hub, live on IBrandTV, where business comes first.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of the well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
True unripe plantain flour is 100% natural flour gotten from the processing of unripe plantain. It contains no addictive and has a net content of 500 grams. True unripe plantain flour contains vitamin A, B6 and C. It is gluten-free and rich in calcium. Consuming True unripe plantain flour helps to build and strengthen stronger bones and can be a great meal for diabetic patients. It decreases your chances of constipation as it has a high fiber content and provides you with a low-fat diet. Here are some steps to prepare your True unripe plantain flour. Firstly, mix True unripe plantain flour with hot water in a pot and gradually add water till you achieve desired thickness. Place over medium heat and turn very well for 4 to 5 minutes to get the right texture. Mold into a ball and place in a bowl and allow to cool. Serve with your choice of soup. True unripe plantain flour can be eaten with any variety of soup, be it your ofe oha, ofe onugbu, begiri, ewedu, or your miyan kuka. To get your True unripe plantain flour, contact us at 12 Olowera Isheri Road by First Welder bus stop off Omole Phase 2, Olowera, Lagos, Nigeria, or call 070-6663-8213 or 081-6397-4447. Distributors are needed nationwide.
The cosmetics and personal care industry globally generates an estimated annual turnover of around $400 billion over the last 20 years. In Nigeria, the beauty and personal care market could reach 3.2 billion euros by 2021, making Nigeria the rising star in sub-Saharan Africa. Products for hair and body care are predominant on the beauty market in sub-Saharan Africa, where face products and makeup remain marginal but have strong potential. Africa's largest economy clearly has a lot to offer. The Nigerian beauty and personal care market is currently worth more than $1.25 billion at retail and is forecast to reach more than
just make you go buy fresh palm fruit.